Hey guys, so in these few set of videos, we are trying to understand the art of the state creation, that is dynamic programming. In previous video, we already saw that a dynamic programming problem can be divided into three subproblems. And in this video, we will learn to solve the first two of those subproblems. So we will try to learn that with the help of an example, and we will take a very standard example, that is computation of a Fibonacci series. So for those who do not know what a Fibonacci series is, it's something like this: 0 1 1 2 3 5 8 and so on. So basically the series is derived with the help of this logic. So Fibonacci of 0 is represented as Fibonacci of 0 is defined as 0, and Fibonacci of 1 is defined as 1. So these two are the base cases, and the nth Fibonacci term is defined as Fibonacci of n is equals to Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So this is how the nth term of Fibonacci is defined. So if you notice, this is equals to Fibonacci of 2, and it's the sum of Fibonacci of 0 plus Fibonacci of 1, that is equals to 1. Then this 1 plus 1 becomes this 2, 1 plus 2 becomes 3, 3 plus 2 becomes 5, 5 plus 3 becomes 8. So that's how the series progresses. Now in this in the context of this problem, we want to apply dynamic programming to and learn how to solve this problem with the help of dynamic programming. All right, so basically if you remember the first sub problem, it was defining the states of the DP. So now talking about defining the states of the DP, you get better at it with practice. All right, so in context of this problem, I am going to define the states of the DP as DP of n, that is the nth state of DP. In this case, it's a single dimensional state. Sometimes it can be two dimensional DP, sometimes it can be a three dimensional state. In this case, it's just a single dimensional state, and in this case the DP of n, I am going to define it as something that is equals to Fibonacci of n. It means the nth state of DP corresponds to nth state of Fibonacci number. All right, so it just means that if someone asks me to compute Fibonacci of 100, I will just return DP of 100. So now coming to the second sub problem, that was laying down the recurrence relation. All right, now this if you notice that since you have already defined the nth state of DP as the nth term of Fibonacci number, so basically when we write down a recurrence relation, so each state of DP, it depends on some other states. All right, so this recurrence relation helps us actually compute a state of DP with the help of another states that it is depending upon. All right, so in the context of this problem, DP of n, since I already know that value of Fibonacci of n is nothing but Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. All right, so I know that Fibonacci of n is equals to Fibonacci of n minus 1 plus Fibonacci of n minus 2. So I know that DP of n minus 1 is equals to Fibonacci of n minus 1, and I know DP of n minus 2 is equals to Fibonacci of n minus 2, and I also know that DP of n is equals to Fibonacci of n. So by that logic, I know that DP of n equals to DP of n minus 1 plus DP of n minus 2. So so the recurrence relation and as well as the definition of the states of the DP, these two are very straightforward in this for this problem. So we have already solved the first two sub problems. All right, so a bonus now I will give a bonus for this section, and it will also this bonus will start to make sense in the third while solving the third sub problem. All right, so I'm going to discuss that bonus over here only. So I'm going to clean this all up. I'm going to clean this entire thing up over here. All right, so the bonus thing which I was talking about is visualization. It's a very important part when you try to solve a DP problem. All right, you to become very good at DP, you must be able to visualize the states of the DP as a graph. All right. So basically, the states of the DP are nothing but a graph structure. All right. So basically, states are analogous to nodes of a graph, and recurrence are analogous to the edges of a graph. And so how do I actually draw a graph for this problem, for this Fibonacci problem? All right, so let's say I want to compute DP of 4 over here. All right, so basically whenever you want to draw the states for a problem, all you need to do is first thing you need to do is you have to find the number of states. So in this case, since you want to compute DP of 4, there will be 5 states in total. That is why you will have 5 different nodes, that is 5, 4, not 5, this will be 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. All right, now when you want to, now I already have the nodes of the graph. Now I want to add some edges, and when you want to add the edges, you look at the recurrence relation. All right, so when you look, you know that nth state, it depends on n minus 1th and n minus 2nd state. All right, so there will be an edge from n minus 1th state to nth state. So in this case, there will be an edge from the 3rd state to 4th state, and an edge from the 2nd state to 4th state. All right, in the same way, there will be an edge from the 2nd to 3rd state and the 1st to 3rd state, and an edge from the 1st to 2nd state and a 0, and from 0th to 2nd state. There will be no incoming edge to state number 1 and state number 0 because they are all base cases. So since I was already initially given the value of Fibonacci of 0, so I know the value of DP of 0 and DP of 1. So these are our base cases and they will have no incoming edges at all whatsoever. Now the catch here is that the graph that you're drawing, it should result to a directed acyclic graph. All right, so with the help of this recurrence relation and with the help of the states that you defined, you should be able to draw a directed graph which should be a directed acyclic graph. All right, so what is a directed acyclic graph or a directed acyclic graph? So basically a directed acyclic graph is a graph without any cycles. All right, for example, this one over here is a directed acyclic graph. This is a directed acyclic graph. Now what is not a directed acyclic graph? So this one over here is not a directed acyclic graph because it has a cycle. So in a directed acyclic graph, if once you using a path, you will never be able to come back to the same node no matter what. All right, so if you look at this graph over here, it's a directed acyclic graph because you cannot come back to the same node from any path that you follow. All right, for example, if you leave 1, you will never be able to come back to 1. That's what a directed acyclic graph means. All right, and it's a very important thing to remember that whenever you draw the graph for a recurrence relation and a state, it should result in a directed acyclic graph. All right, and this will start making more sense when we look at the third subproblem. So let's just get into the third subproblem of a DP. All right, so we will do that in the next video. Thank you guys for watching this video.